Welcome to Ladders. I'm FTW's Christian DeAndrea. He is a Rhode Island Scumbag, Mike Boyage. And Yash, how you doing?
Doing great. We almost done with week one, and it was a lot of good football to watch, a lot of fun, and just kind of good to get back in the old routine again. So
yeah, a lot of good football. Also, the Panthers and the Jaguars played, so that was great for all of us.
That they did.
Yeah, so what we're doing today, what we're doing every week, so we're talking about the guys climbing up your fantasy waiver wires and the guys you might want to drop them for. We start with someone on their level, we go up, and hopefully we help you figure out which sleepers to add and who to leave on the free agent pile. Today we got three names. Let's start with the guy who gashed the Chiefs in a week one win. Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, Los Angeles Chargers, 9% owned. That's going to go way up. Let's talk about a guy on his level right now. Yash, would you drop K. Dotton for Quentin Johnston?
Yes, I would. I don't even think that would be a question. K. Dotton really didn't do much in the Tampa Bay offense to begin with. So I'm definitely going to take a chance on what looks like the Quentin Johnston that we were promised last year. So he looks good. He's getting targets, and he's more importantly holding on to the ball. I'm sticking with Johnston in this one.
Yeah, Auden, 3 targets, 0 catches. Emeka Egbuka in that lineup. As soon as everyone gets healthy, Auden's going to go way far down that receiving wish list. Also, Johnston, I mean, his separation numbers are back to where they were as a rookie, but his yards after catch are back. We're seeing the guy we saw at TCU. So yes, give me Quentin Johnston over K. Dotton, no problem. Let's go up from 9% K. Dotton to 22%. Dante Thornton, the rookie wideout for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yash, who you taking? Quentin Johnston, Dante Thornton?
This one to me is much more of a coin flip. Although Thornton didn't get as much run this week as Johnston did, I mean, he's a rookie. He's getting more acclimated into his offense. And more importantly, he's just got the tools that look like are going to make him a successful receiver. At one point, I think he had a catch late yesterday where Trey Tucker kind of runs up and congratulates him. And he just looks like a 1.5 feet taller than him. And his arms look about 15 feet wider. He just looks like a specimen of a wide receiver. So if you're desperate and you don't want to put a faith in a rookie, I say go for Quentin Johnston. If you want to see things play out for a couple more weeks, you can safely hold Thornton, and I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on your roster.
Yeah, I agree that Thornton is a guy you can stash right now. There's going to be tons of opportunities in Las Vegas. Geno Smith looks like vintage Geno Smith right now, hyper efficient, making a lot of great throws downfield. But for me, I want that established guy in Quentin Johnston. We know where he stands in the pecking order, 7 targets, 5 catches, a red zone threat. I want him over Thornton right now, but I can see the case either way. Finally, 34% owned, but that number is going to plummet. Are you holding on to the Dallas running back rookie Jayden Blue, or are you going with a more established wideout, Quentin Johnston?
Okay, this is going to be complicated because it depends on what you need right now. Clearly, after the last Dallas game, I don't think we're going to see a lot more of Miles Sanders. That fumble was huge at the time, and if the veteran is not holding onto the ball, why not give the rookie a shot? So if you're up against it with your running back depth, maybe hold on to Blue, especially if you have some receivers that you feel comfortable with. But if you have a glut of running backs and, Blue was kind of just a stash on your bench, you can feel free to drop him.
Yeah, I agree. The Cowboys running back room is a mess right now. Javonte Williams exceeded expectations. He's going to be able to do that again for a team, against a team rather, that has its starting defensive tackle in place. I don't know. Miles Sanders, we already knew he wasn't great, but he's still got the call over Blue, who was inactive. If you want to stash him, sure, go for it. If you want to pick him up as a buy low candidate in a few weeks, when the Cowboys are reconfiguring things, when things have gone wrong, then absolutely. But right now, Johnston is the guy. Okay. Let's move on now to the next man up, a man near and dear to our Rhode Island hearts, Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver, New England Patriots. Boutte, big time game. He was Drake May's Huckleberry. So let's start with a guy on Kayshon Boutte's level. Would you take him or Isaiah Likely, tight end, Baltimore Ravens?
I'm going Boutte here. And I don't even think it's going to be a consideration that I would hold on to Likely. Boutte had 9 targets from Drake May. likely is never going to get 9 targets or anything close to it in that offense.
This one's a little bit more balanced for me because
Hmm.
Lamar Jackson needs targets. We saw Zay Flowers dominate, but who else really stepped up other than that one incredible DeAndre Hopkins catch? Rashad Bateman wasn't really there. Mark Andrews, 1 target, 5 yards. More guys need to step up in that passing game. So I do like Likely's upside going forward, especially as an athletic move tight end where Andrews can be more of the inline guy.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, Boutte, he's got to deal with Stephon Diggs getting back in the swing of things. He's got to worry about Demario Douglas kind of stepping up and getting some more things done as that short-range target. Right. While I like Boutte as a downfield receiver, and only 4 of his yards, 102 yards, only 4 after the catch last week. He's in Drake May's circle of trust, clearly. I would lean Boutte, but at the same time, if you want to hang on to Isaiah Likely, I kind of get that. All right, let's move over to the other side of the NFL. Green Bay Packers wideout Romeo Doubs. Are you taking Romeo Doubs? Kayshon Boutte.
All right. In this case, it's a tough decision, but I'm gonna roll with Romeo Doubs here. I know. Thing is, besides Matthew Golden, who else has really established himself with somebody that Jordan Love is going to go to? Jayden Reed looked pretty good yesterday. But it seems like Romeo Doubs is kind of the old faithful in that offense where it's just 2 receiver sets, 3 receiver sets. He seems to always be out in the field, and he's kind of like the go-to where it's, Jordan Love needs to get something. Doubs is usually the guy he's going to. So you did make some good points with Boutte. Also like to point out separation was almost non-existent as well. So
1.9 yards. He's not getting away, but he's making great catches through traffic, through contact. That's why I like Boutte a little bit more in this situation.
Okay.
Especially with Golden's going to be climbing that depth chart a little bit. He's going to get acclimated to it. Jayden Reed's there. Dontavian Wicks is there. Christian Watson will come back at some point. We also have Tucker Kraft. You have Luke Musgrave. You have a lot of heavy hitters. Well, not heavy hitters. You have a lot of medium hitters. You have a lot of okay hitters in that Packers lineup that can get you. And that's also going to hurt your Packers wideouts in fantasy because there's so many targets for Jordan Reed for him to loft that weird ass rainbow he throws where you go, no. And then it just drops into a buck and you're like, what? How did that happen? Classic Packers football right there. I want Boutte though, because I think he's going to get more targets. I think he's going to be targeted more downfield. Okay. Give me him. Finally, let's go one level up. The rookie for the Houston Texans, Iowa State alum, Jayden Higgins, 34th overall, quiet debut. Do you want him or do you want the more established guy in Boutte?
Give me Higgins here. I just think the physical tools speak for itself. He's going to have opportunities moving forward. I know week 1, a lot of the situations we saw are not going to repeat themselves, and that can go in a positive or a negative direction. I think as the season goes on, he's going to be trusted more. I think that Hutchinson is a wide receiver 3, and I think that's going to be his role. But when it comes to Higgins, that too is there for the taking. And especially with no Tank Dell this year, opportunities are there, and he's a big-bodied receiver, strong, he's fast. Give me the guy with the easier schedule and the more physical tools.
Yeah, Higgins, we went 34th overall for a reason. He's big, 6'4". He's fast. He's got that 4.4 speed. He can be a possession guy. He can be a downfield guy. He did a little bit of both at Iowa State. And he's got a more stable quarterback in C.J. Stroud, even though Drake May's upside is, let's face it, unlimited. We're a bunch of Rhode Island homers. Of course we're going to say that. For me, I feel like it was more about the Rams' defense and the overt crappiness of the Texans' rebuilt offensive line compared to any real flaw in that offense. And I think things will get better. So right now I would roll with Higgins' upside over Boutte's already established baseline. I don't know if he's going to have more of these 100-yard games down the road, but I feel like you can kind of dial Kayshon Boutte in for somewhere between 4 to 6 catches, 50 to 70 yards per game, and feel pretty good about it.
The younger guys have not established themselves with the Patriots yet either. So you still have Kyle Williams in the mix. Stephon Diggs did not get a full complement of snaps yesterday. Douglas didn't do as much as we expected from him either. So just keep that in mind moving forward. The targets might change for him as well.
All right, let's wrap up with one of my favorite guys from the 2024 NCAA season. Led the FBS in receptions, came out and was the engine behind the Browns offense, which in fairness is like a go-kart engine. You took it out of a lawnmower, you put it into something with 4 tiny wheels, but it's still an engine. Harold Fannin Jr., rookie tight end, Cleveland Browns, 1% owned coming into the season. Going to be a lot more now. Let's talk about a guy that's down on his level. Tennessee Titans wideout, fellow rookie, Alec Ayomanor. Would you want Harold Fannin or Ayomanor?
Kind of like Alec here. Again, he's the number 2 receiver in that offense. He's getting a lot of targets, and he's going to have a lot of opportunity. Once again, I like the opportunity, especially with the young guys. Their roles grow as the season starts, as the season goes on. However, Fannin also is getting some opportunities. So, this is a tough one. If you need a tight end, I'll go Fannin.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat there. I feel like Fannin did a great job run after catch. That's the one concern with him, right? He comes out, he goes to the combine, he runs a 4.7. Everyone's like, oh man, he tore up MAC defenses, right? Can he do that in the NFL? And in fairness, the closest you're going to get to a MAC defense in the NFL might just be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Good point.
But more yards after catch than more yards before the catch. He was very clearly targeted short, about 4.4 yards downfield. This is a Browns team that's going to be throwing short a lot. They have Jerry Jeudy to stretch the field, but iffy quarterback situation. Blocking right now, we don't know what it's going to look like. Run game right now hasn't quite been established. So I like Fannin to have the volume, but I like the upside of Alec Ayomanor even better because 7 targets in his debut against an elite defense. I don't think we can take that as any indication of things to come. So right now, give me Ayomanor, but keep Fannin in your memory. All right, next guy up, 20% owned, sitting on my bench. We talked about him last week. Xavier Legette. Wideout, Carolina Panthers. Do you want Harold Fannin Jr. or Xavier Legette on your roster?
I'm going to go Fannin here. I know it's going to be kind of a shock, tight end over receiver, but something about Legette, he just doesn't seem to pull away with his opportunities. We saw it last year. It was maddening. He'd have a great game, then he'd go out and just like 2 or 3 goose eggs in a row. I'd rather trust the consistency of a tight end who is regularly going to be relied on 4 to 6 targets a game, whether it be Flacco or one of these 2 rookies who could eventually come in during the season. All these 3 guys like to use a safety valve, and it looks like Fannin is going to be one of those for the Browns. So in this case, give me Fannin here.
I'm also team Fannin. He was a guy who had a lot of separation. They were scheming ways to get him open. Maybe that was just poor planning because the Bengals didn't really know what to do with him. Maybe that'll change when the game tape piles up. But we also have a lot of game tape on our boy X, and it's bad. It's not good. He had 7 targets yesterday. He turned that into 10 yards. Bryce Young struggled. And I have no doubt Dave Canales will get him back on track, get him back towards being a league average quarterback. But even a league average quarterback might not be able to make the most out of Xavier Legette. So he's on my bench right now. He's probably getting dropped. I don't want to go ahead and put the rest of the Scumbag League on blast. But if you want to pick him up on Friday, you're going to have your opportunity to. Finally, another guy sitting on my bench in the Rhode Island Scumbag League, 40% owned, our boy Marvin Mims Jr. Yes, Marvin Mims, Detroit. Nope, Denver Broncos. You taking him or you taking Harold Fannin Jr.?
All right, in this case, give me Marvin Mims, and then I'm dropping him because I would rather have Fannin in the situation. Point being, Mims is not the number 2 in Denver. I think it's Troy Franklin personally. And I'd rather roll with an upside tight end like Hannon than trying to figure out what week Marvin Mims might go off for 3 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, 2 different yards after catch beasts, right? Mims last year, his average catch was less than a yard downfield. He makes guys miss. Fannin, short range target, not going to have the same kind of yak, but also going to get way more volume. For me, I want Mims just because I can't imagine Bo Nix is going to be that bad every week, even though that was not a great defense he faced, and he got bullied up front, and he made bad decisions downfield, and he looked a lot like the guy who was the 6th quarterback in last year's draft. He did not look like bomb lobbing Bo that we got used to, which is a place where Mims can also thrive. The Troy Franklin, the Pat Bryants of it all aside. I do agree that we might see more opportunity for Harold Fannin or Hannon if we're really smashing things together, trying to make it simple. But for me, I think I want that upside. I think I'm willing to chase that upside at the end of my bench. more than I'm willing to be like, all right, Harold Fannin might get 5 catches for 33 yards, So I want Mims' upside over there based instead of the floor of a rookie tight end, which is going to be volatile, but I feel like we did see that Hannon's going to get a lot of targets. Hannon, you made me say Hannon again. Damn, man. Harold Fannin is going to get me there. All right. That is it for this week. Thank you for checking in and watching us. We will catch you next week with more Scumbag Ladders. See you then.
Do it.